Welcome to the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast, a podcast where we teach speakers how to land paid speaking engagements and corporate contracts. Each week, we deliver high-quality content that teaches you how to level up your speaking business. Be sure to join the Speak Your Way to Cash Facebook group after having your mind blown by this information-filled episode. Now, here's your host, Ashley Kirkwood, lawyer and professional speaker. This is the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast.
Hey guys, it's Ashley Kirkwood with the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast. I'm here today with William Hemphill, and he's going to be talking about how he plans to grow his speaking business, what are some ideas he has, and then I'll also be coaching him and offering him some ideas to help grow that business as well. Hey, William, thanks so much for joining the show.
You're very welcome. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I am doing well.
Great. So, William, tell our audience a little bit about your business.
Okay. Well, I am a marriage and family counselor in Atlanta, Georgia. My business is faith and family empowerment. I work with individuals, couples, and families who want to receive counseling to work on mental health, marital issues, but also want someone that can respect their faith perspective.
Hey guys, it's Ashley Kirkwood here, and I know this is an amazing interview. And if you are someone who is interested in taking your speaking career to the next level, then do I have something for you? Okay, I need you to go to ashleynicolekirkwood.com/SYWTC live replay. That's ashleynicolekirkwood.com/SYWTC live replay. The link is also in the show notes that you can grab the Speak Your Way to Cash live replay, which has 7 modules, a ton of information about how you can start speaking your way to cash. Now, this training is absolutely action-packed, phenomenal. It has additional resources. It has templates. It has a podcast pitch template, a college pitch template, something you can send to media outlets to get on television. It has everything you need to develop a sales strategy, a press strategy, and a plan to skyrocket your speaking career. And it is crazy affordable, okay? So head on over there right now, ashleynicolekirkwood.com/SYWTC live replay, and grab your copy today. All right, let's get back to this interview.
I also work especially with adoptive families, helping them to work on issues that help them to blend together better.
Awesome. And you're an author as well. Is that right?
Yes, I am. I have a book called Praying with Your Spouse, A Secret to Building Intimacy in Your Marriage.
Nice. And how do you use speaking in your business now?
Well, I haven't used it that much per se. I know last year at the American Group Psychotherapy Association, I did lead a group on secondary stress in adoptive parents. And so I wanted to do some things with conferences and stuff. I was scheduled to do something else last year at the professional conference in Georgia, but unfortunately due to illness, I was unable to do that. And of course, this year, right now, we're in the midst of a pandemic, so that makes it a little bit harder to do anything. But I am interested in doing some things with conferences, but I'm also interested in speaking in ways that I could promote my business.
Great. And when you think of how speaking can bring additional revenue into your business or for you personally, how do you see it doing that? There's typically 2 camps that folks fall within. One is they get paid to speak. They go after clients with budgets and pitch them on a particular speaking topic, and they get paid just for speaking. And the second way that I see speakers utilize speaking is they go out and they speak to potential clients or conferences where potential clients reside and or are attending, and then they get business from the audiences that they've spoken to. I know you want to grow your business, so is it more in this? Are you falling more in the second camp, or are you also interested in getting paid to speak?
Well, that's kind of interesting. Just saying it offhand, I can't say I knew there were 2 camps. I have some interest in both. Part of it is to be able to share my expertise and knowledge and gifts. With that, I hope to be able to also get some book sales and some clientele. But then I also want to use it sometimes as maybe being a keynote speaker or something else like that also.
Okay, awesome. And then in terms of your branding, what do you have now to prove that you're a great speaker? Do you already have a speaking website, a demo reel? How far along are you in the branding side of the speaking career?
I haven't done much branding yet. On my counseling site, I do have a page for speaking. I also have a podcast that I recently started, the Faith and Family Matters podcast. And so that's on iTunes and Spotify, and I'm trying to learn how to promote that out too.
Okay, great. So the way that I typically help speakers to get started in the beginning of their careers is we go through topic, and then we talk about target, and then we talk about how they're going to market. So we'll start with topic. Are you going to be talking on counseling topics?
Pretty much, yes. Normally what I think I would do, probably depending on the audience, maybe churches or different things, some topics on marriage, communication skills, different things like that, how to deal with marital drift. I'd probably do some of that at adoption agencies too, probably also because I'm an adoptive parent. And one of the things I noticed is that adoption could be difficult on a marriage. And so those are some of the issues I was looking at. I think also one of my challenges, and you might be able to help me out with this, is I have some expertise based on life experiences and careers. I'm also a pastor, so I have some experience in theology, marriage by training and being married for 25 years, adoption by training and being an adoptive parent, grief by training and being a hospital and hospice chaplain for several years.
Hey guys, Ashley Kirkwood here, and I just want to take a moment to invite you out to the Speak Your Way to Cash retreat. If you enjoy this podcast, then you will love the Speak Your Way to Cash 2020 retreat in October, taking place right outside Chicago, Illinois. This retreat is for speakers looking to grow their speaking businesses, land corporate or college clients, and skyrocket their earning potential as a speaker. The in-depth sessions at this multi-day retreat will leave you understanding exactly the high-level client acquisition strategies that I use to land corporate clients. You'll also know the exact steps you need to be taking to grow your current business. Let's get to the nitty-gritty. The sessions are amazing. We talk about selling your signature speech, and we actually have time to go over the techniques of speaking. So if you want to become a better speaker as well as a higher paid speaker, then you should come out. We have another session called TEDx Secrets. Bring your laptops. We are actually going to be looking up and applying to TEDx Talks at the retreat. This session will be critical if you're someone who wants to land a TEDx Talk. Client secrets. You'll hear from actual clients about what they want from speakers just like you, and selling success. We cannot do a retreat without talking about selling. But here's the session that I'm most excited about. We are going to do a vision organizational chart party. That means we are going to have not just vision boards, but vision org boards. We are going to map out how your speaking organization should be staffed, what you want that to look like, and how to use global outsourcing in a way that lets you fund the positions in your company that are currently open. So it's for you if you're ready to level up. If so, meet me in Chicago in October. Reserve your seat now. I'm only taking 30 speakers on this retreat. So go to ashleynicolekirkwood.com/2020 retreat. And the best part is you can get early bird pricing now of $550, or you can reserve your seat for just $75 down and make payments until the retreat. That's right. You can either pay in full and get early bird pricing of $550 for the entire 2-day experience, or you can reserve your seat for just $75 down. Whatever you decide to do, make sure you're in the room. It's going to be impactful, and I'm ready to help you start speaking your way to cash in person in Chicago in October. Again, the website is ashleynicolekirkwood.com/2020 retreat. See you soon. Can't wait, guys. Nice. So one of the reasons why we start with figuring out what the goal of speaking is, if the goal is to create additional revenue, then some of that drops off just because there aren't markets that are paying top dollar for those topics.
Okay.
Right now, we're in the middle of a pandemic. And it's for the foreseeable really year, that is going to be what people are focused on. So the things that you could sell as a speaker now would be online experiences. So speaking, like doing workshops online, but the number one topic that corporations are probably going to start hiring for will be things that'll help their vendor. So I have companies reaching out to me to do legal presentations because the company's vendors, the people that the company hires out to, are struggling, and the company wants to help them. So you have that dynamic going on, but then you also have this for you, which is more relevant to you, this dynamic of anxiety, stress, how it impacts relationships, how it impacts communication. So that realm of things is going to be attractive for where we are now.
Mm-hmm.
So I would really focus in on how you can help companies teach their employees how to handle anxiety and mental health during this time period.
Okay.
Since that seems to be your background anyways. And then from there, after you narrow down that topic, the target would have to be specifically companies that aren't as impacted by COVID-19 financially. So the companies that are still open, the companies that still have disposable income, the industries that aren't totally ransacked. So you wouldn't want to target like the retail industry or colleges, which are all shut down, or when you watch, I watch Fox Business a lot. Not that I'm a huge Fox fan, but I like the way they break down the financials of the different industries. Mm-hmm. And the industries that are not suffering as a result of this yet, or right now, are pretty much tech. So Zoom, Amazon, those types of companies. And then also the insurance industry. Okay. They, of course, are still getting their premiums, whether that be auto insurance or health insurance, just insurance providers, people that are on a reoccurring revenue model. You also have like ComEd. I mean, the industries that we have to keep paying ComEd. They're not doing any waivers for everything. So those types of industries are still going to be booming right now. And so when you think about who you could target, who you could sell your presentations to, it would make sense to look at your topic as being something that's relevant for right now, and I say that because speaking is a luxury for companies. Companies that are broke don't bring in trainers anyways. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, this isn't a company, but I know churches, they typically do like love offerings. They don't have a professional development budget in most instances. Mm-hmm. And when they do, it's far less than a corporation. So I don't personally teach people to focus on industries that traditionally don't hire or don't have a long history of hiring speakers outside of like celebrity preachers and things like that.
Okay. So go ahead.
Yeah, so I would recommend narrowing in on corporations, and within corporations, specific industries that are still thriving despite the economics that we're dealing with now. Mm-hmm. Because the companies that are reaching out, that are affirmatively reaching out, advertising is another one. I have an advertising client. They were reaching out, asking for different things. But the insurance company seems to really be, that insurance industry seems to really be a solid industry.
Okay. So advertising companies, insurance companies. I imagine medical's thriving right now, but they're busy taking care of us. So, but they got a lot of stress too, but I don't know if they have any time for that right now also.
Right. Well, I mean, that's another thing is like they are extraordinarily busy.
Okay.
The things that you could propose, which would be really good and innovative. You have a license to counsel. Can you only counsel in Atlanta?
In the state, I can only counsel professionally in the state of Georgia. Okay. I imagine I could probably speak anywhere. I am a national certified counselor with the NBCC.
So if you have state restrictions, it actually makes it a lot easier to develop a plan. But one of the things you can think about doing, because I'm a firm believer that the companies that know how to innovate will survive this. All other companies, they won't make it. Mm-hmm. And when you look at the companies just generally in business, the companies that are struggling, retail has failed to innovate for decades.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like all of those in-person stores, this should have been a switch immediately to online. People have been advising them to switch to having better experiences in the store to get people actually out and not just shopping on Amazon and not just shopping online. But a lot of them also don't have phenomenal online shopping experiences. It's just go there, check out. It's not interactive enough to truly be considered innovative. And so when something like this happens, that industry really tanks. The movie theater. We see the movies the same way every day. Like if they could have done drive-through or drive-up theaters that would have been safe for COVID-19 and pivot really quickly, maybe they wouldn't have taken such a hit. But those industries haven't really changed much. Mm-hmm. My local movie theater, the biggest change they've made is these new seats that you can recline back in.
Okay.
So you really want to think creatively. So for you, it's like, all right, well, they're busy, obviously, but they're obviously having some mental stress, additional stress and anxiety. How about if I go and talk to the hospital administrator, or I sell the hospital on a package of consultations, and then I agree to be available by phone for for 10 hours every week. And their people can just call in or their people can book appointments in advance and do 15 to 20 minute mental health checkup sessions.
Okay.
Because they don't have long, but they may be able to fit something like that in, and they may need that to continue to work effectively.
Okay. Yeah, that definitely sounds good.
That way you're not selling to the individual nurses. You get the hospital to buy a package from you at a certain rate, and then you hold office hours, virtual office hours, and they can sign up in advance if they need it. Which is good. Now, if it may be that they have thousands of people who need this and the demand is really high and they may already have it. So you want to think through like what could make yours special or what makes them working with you so special. And for something like this, you could also do, a campaign. So maybe this hospital isn't the person that buys it at all, but people who just want to do something to help and give back, they buy it. So you do a fundraising campaign and you raise $20,000. And for every 20 grand you raise, you'll donate, 1,500 sessions to essential workers.
Okay.
So you want to think through, like, there's different ways to do it, but how can you serve and how can your service be relevant to this time period? And you'll have to check with your, the guidelines, the ethics guidelines of your particular profession, because you all have specific rules with how you can market anyways.
That's very true. That's very true. You've given me some very interesting ideas to think of as far as that, contacting, well, not just hospitals, but I have done some work with some hospices and stuff too. So there are people I know I could probably contact to do some of that right away, actually.
Definitely. And hospices are, that's a whole nother element. I mean, you have people who are unfortunately passing away and they're not able to, I don't know how that works. Like if you're in a COVID unit and you pass away, I know that you can't see your families. I don't know if you can still see chaplains even. Yeah. So if you have those virtual opportunities as well, it would be really helpful.
Okay.
Since you are a pastor, but I would get the organization to get under contract with you, and you can definitely, give them a discount for the time period or work out something that makes sense for both parties. But this isn't, I think for some people, for some entrepreneurs, they see this as a time to kind of just like shut down, like not ask people for money, not ask people for this, that, and the other. But I do think that it makes sense. That's why it makes sense to target industries that are still operational, industries that are still being paid, so that it's not laborious on them to pay for your services. And then two, you want to offer services that are really helping them. So it's not just, hey, I want money for these things. Like, no, I have an expertise that could help during this time. But I can't, of course, do it for free because I'm also a business owner.
Yeah.
So think through like some packages that would make sense for where we are now.
Okay. Thinking offhand, let me ask you something. What does that look like when you approach somebody that way? Because